Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abdulatif Al-Jabbar, the Director for Products Portfolio at the National Housing Company, mainly focusing on the AI initiatives at the company. I'll just go briefly the agenda in two parts. I'll talk about a little bit about the technology. It's very important to understand the AI technology and the economy, followed by the applications of AI in the real estate. So just to make it very simple, I don't want to go through neural networks or multi-layer applications and signal processing. Artificial intelligence is just the ability for a computer to think and learn. And thinking and learning is very important and also very powerful, because we can scale this on a very large level. So we'll stick to the definition, which is AI is basically simulating human brains, which means محاكاة لعقل الإنسان. So we're trying to make the machine learn and understand, and learning is very powerful. So on the technology of AI, I would say machine learning, maybe most of you know these technologies, but I'll go just very quickly. And again, I think it's very important to understand the technology, to understand how it works in the real estate. So in machine learning, we have the supervised, where is the classic application of training the machine on images and classifying them. And under supervised, there is the regression, where you can forecast the numbers that are coming. For example, here, the prices in real estate. And we have the classification, for example, to identify by computer vision the objects. Reinforcement learning is mainly to give a score for the machine to operate well. This application is used in the self-driving cars. And also we have the unsupervised learning. There's also a fourth one, which is semi-supervised. The unsupervised has three technologies. One is clustering, to cluster, using the data to cluster your, for example, customers, and putting them, understanding the patterns. And from that, we can do the association rule mining, which is basically, in simple terms, using the clustering data and predicting, for example, who buys X will be interested in buying Y. Anomaly detection is also through the clustering technology, where it captures the outliers, and this is used mainly in fraud and different behaviors that happen that the machine is not used to. I'll go to the applications later, and also maybe most of you, or if not all of you, know generative AI. Today, most of us maybe use ChatGPT. It can generate text and audio. It can also generate videos and images based on prompts. And also there are the retrieval augmentation generation systems today, the expert systems, where we can train the machine on specific tasks, and we can build expert systems. So as an example, an application for supervised regression, we can use the forecasting technology, the supervised classification, object detection by computer vision. On the reinforcement is the self-driving cars. On the unsupervised, we can develop the patterns and label them, build the recommendation systems. Like, for example, Amazon, 35% of its revenue comes from the recommendation system, which is approximately $700 billion comes from the recommendation systems. Anomaly detection, fraud and cyber threats. The Gen AI, of course, we can generate movies, scientific research assistants, and also RAG, the expert systems I mentioned earlier. So I'll just go a little bit further on maybe computer vision, just one technology today. This is an open source. Maybe most of you know what computer vision is and what it does. But today it's on a better or a higher level. Today, algorithms can explain what's happening in the image. For example, you can see here, it's describing that there are a couple of people in a car, a person looking through binoculars. So computer vision is evolving, not just object detection, it's also improving and developing. So you hear a lot about unicorns and companies that reach $1 billion in evaluation. And it's very hard for us, honestly, to understand how this happens. But the unique thing about AI is it's like a network effect. It gathers more data. The algorithms start to be better and predict more accurate. Services get better. And there is more usage, which also increases the price of the unicorns. And it increases more data that can be used again and again in new algorithms and in new predictions. So this network effect keeps on going on and increases the value of companies. And that's what makes AI a little bit valued more than the classic digital applications. Of course, all this happens in the ecosystem of the real estate. I'll talk a bit more about it in the last slide of this presentation. So that's about the technology. I'll pause here if there are any questions or if there's any more clarification needed, or I can jump to the next economy part.
You mentioned the unicorn. Here also in Saudi Arabia, there is also a unicorn program unicorn in Saudi riyals. And there is one company, this is within 3 years from startup, they reach 1.4 billion.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, a lot of companies are now growing.
Tamara.
Tamara and Tabi, yes, yep, and others, yep. طيب, this was prepared in 2018. The numbers are not updated, but I'd like to show the economy of AI, how it's growing. For example, in 2020, the market size of cloud computing, where the algorithms are processed and data, was around $240 billion. The number of sensors that were connected to the internet are expected to be 20 billion Internet of Things by 2025. The global amount of data produced, this year it's around 140 zettabytes. Next year it's going to be 180 zettabytes globally. So there is a huge amount of data, cloud computing, sensors that gather data. And the market size of AI software is projected or forecasted to be $120 billion. This study was done before Gen AI was released. So the studies show that the value of AI contributing to the economy by 2030 globally is around $15 trillion. Most of it is in the marketing, sales, and in the supply chain. On Gen AI, companies globally spent around $15 billion in 2023, and it's expected between $175 to $250 billion to be spent on generative AI by 2027. Now on the feasibility of AI, this is also a study, an old study. It was in 2018 by MGI. It shows the feasibility of the AI use cases. Where are the most areas? The most areas, maybe most of you know, is in health. Healthcare has a lot of data, and machines can predict a lot of solutions for healthcare. The second area is usually the environment. The environment has a lot of feasible AI use cases, and others, and also the real estate has a significantly moderate to large feasibility of AI use cases. So now a little bit on Saudi Arabia. It's expected by 2026 the technology market globally is expected to reach $64 billion. In 2022, Saudi Arabia attracted about 18% from the MENA, from the venture capital funds in 2022. That's around 66 million US dollars. And by 2030, the size of property technology market in Saudi Arabia is expected to reach about $3 billion. The key technologies are, of course, in real estate, smart buildings, VR and augmented reality, blockchain, big data and AI. And there are also a lot of PropTech startups in the kingdom.
For the international market, for the PropTech,
Yeah.
it's less than 1%. The PropTech. So there is a big place that will increase. 3.1 billion from the Saudi market that is expected to be for 70 billion.
Yep.
Okay, so it's even less than 1%.
Yep. It's huge. Yep.
So there's a big
Potential. Yes.
because the PropTech and the FinTech was increased, was established. PropTech is just starting now.
Yep.
So there's a big room for this.
Yes, a lot of opportunities. Yep. And this is, I'm showing a survey with 20 executives on the key challenges in the Saudi PropTech market. The adoption showed out to be the first challenge, and also the energy costs came second. And the areas where the executives are interested in, AI integration, which is something not easy to do, to integrate AI in your business, and also sustainability and data platforms come after that. So that's just briefly about the economy and the market. We'll jump to the last two slides for the AI technology in the real estate. Here is just to apply AI in the real estate, you need to understand the supply chain. So this is just a rough, small infographic on how the supply chain is different for every persona. We have the renter, the home buyer, the developer, the home builder, the landlord, the broker. And there are several things that need to be done around the supply chain. And we map them here. And the next slide now, I will show the technologies of AI. Very briefly, there are a lot of technologies. I summarize here only 16. I'll go through a couple of them. For example, today algorithms can predict what's the best decision to do with your assets. It can, once you feed it with the economical data, it can give you the best decision on what to do with your asset, whether to rent it, develop it, put it on hold. For example, House Canary does this, forecast the home prices in the next 36 months. Also using satellite data, for example, the LiDAR, which knows the altitude of the buildings, you can train models that know what's the status of the developer's projects. And this also can be linked to the market data and understanding how many units will be in the market, and it can also improve the prediction of other algorithms. On the certify side, for example, today we have the ChatGPT agents or GEMs who uses Gemini. You can train these expert systems to read the digital applications from the subdivision, for example. These expert systems can read the AutoCAD files, can understand the regulation, and can give a score for the compliance for this applicant who wants to automatically. This all can be done by expert systems once we train them and improve the accuracy. Also, real estate agents, for example, these are different expert systems that can read from different databases, understand the trends, and give you information based on your requests. And you can design these systems to help you to make better decisions, especially the ones that need a lot of data. Of course, also in financing, there are a lot of opportunities in financing. Credit scoring. I mean, today RAG systems can read from different systems and also can use the unsupervised method to classify and cluster the customers and give a prediction on default who will be going to default and who has a higher eligibility. Also, the anomaly detection can help in reducing fraud. It can predict and flag any fraud that happens in the real estate market. Also, on the sourcing experts, you can develop expert systems that tell you what to buy, when to buy, based on the knowledge and the data that you have. So these are single tasks. It's not like a big GPT technology. It's a small expert system that you can develop based on the work you're doing for it to help you to increase your productivity. Recommendation systems, we've already talked about this on the market side. I mean, I think today it's very necessary to have algorithms that tell me, Abdulatif, okay, you live in a 3-bedroom building, you would need a 4-bedroom, for example, in the next 3 years based on other data. It should also automatically calculate and give me the best location to live in. It will also should be able to calculate the time it needs to commute and the savings I will make from other to reduce the carbon emissions, for example. Predictive maintenance on property management. Today there are a lot of companies that are offering asset management. You put all the information of your asset in one system, and it can predict when you need to change consumables in buildings, when you need to do a periodical maintenance. All this historical data machines can learn and give you a better prediction to allocate your resources of contractors to help fix and do their maintenance. So yeah, and of course most of the use cases also are in the customer support. For example, at NHC, what we did, we built we already built a system and working on another system to train our knowledge bot on the frequently asked questions. It will not be a chat bot, it will be an expert system trained on our data, on all the regulations in Saudi Arabia, and it can help our customer support system to answer quickly. And also we can open this to our customers. We already have successfully finished one of the certifying agents at NHC. Until now, we didn't find any errors. Usually AI, you have to improve the accuracy with time. But so far with our testing the last month, we built it on 4.0 from OpenAI, and it's working very well. So these are just some of the opportunities of AI in the real estate, and I'll open it up for questions if you have. Yeah.
Slide number 9. I miss it.
So are there any questions? Yes, sir.
Where we can learn or grow our AI capabilities in real estate in Saudi? It was very eye-opening. Thanks for this visionary presentation.
Yeah.
So we are tech-savvy guys. We would like to continue to capture this type of information.
Yeah.
Which sources do you recommend to us to follow?
Well, AI is a single task, so you do very simple tasks. It depends on the business needs, where the business requires or has the most issues. We usually ask this question when we are with any business: what's the most pain you have? So from there we work it backwards and see if the technology can help or not. And also, if that doesn't work, we usually develop innovation workshops. We explain the technology, how it operates, because also a lot of technical experts don't understand very well the technology and how it works. Once we explain it, and we have the people that are operating the business every day, they come up with the solutions. We just show the technology and let the business come up with the solution based on the pains that they have.
Slide number 9. Yes, the future trends in AI is 15 trillion. Who brought this number?
These similar numbers between MGI, McKinsey Global Institute, and PwC also had similar numbers.
هيئة اتصالات تقنية المعلومات كاتبين 16 trillion.
Yeah, 1 trillion difference. I think it's an acceptable error. And this is 2018, and I think it's 30. It's not 16.
Yeah,
يعني.
to whom we rely on.
The opportunity is there.
When I'm telling you, the data is very important.
Yeah.
يعني هذا الريبورت هذا شوف هذا 16 trillion.
Yeah.
هذا الريبورت طالع من هيئة اتصالات
تقنية
والتقنية
المعلومات. نعم.
طيب هم منين جايبين هذا؟ هم أكيد جايبين هذا.
من نفس الاستشارة. Yeah, as I mentioned, this is April 2018. Yeah. April 2018. It's governed. Data is governed here. The references, yeah.
Sometimes I have doubt on the data released by these consultants.
Yeah. تفضل.
شركة الإسكان.
إيه هلا وسهلا.
شركة حكومية. وأنا I know to adapt AI I need to have huge data. More
إيه.
to implement prediction or sort of. أنا يمكن أشتغل consultation long time ago. الرو ديتا صعب ان انا احصل عليها بشكل كبير. انا عشان ادرب الديتا او الاي اي تبعي او اني ابدا بروبتك، يعني احنا قاعدين على مشروع بروبتك كبير. source of data يمكن ذكر الاستاذ differentiation of information، يعني في ناس نسحبوا سابقا كنا نسحب من Ministry of Justice، وبعدين الحين جاء السجل العقاري وجاءت البورصة العقارية. the source of data to build prediction sometimes not accurate to build AI module. Another thing احنا اذا تكلمنا في area تدريب الاي اي في المينتننس، اذا تتكلم بالبريدكشن للسلوك behavior of consumer tenants or consumer in generic. خلينا نتكلم واقعي. not available. To implement any module AI, I have to build from scratch everybody, such as National Housing Company. Do you have any plan to give open source with the Ministry of Statistics, Riga, نحتاج open source.
Yes, of course, yes.
Open data نقدر نبني عليها to have a competition. يعني
fair competition, yes.
Real estate developer,
yes.
contracting, أنت لك advantage. أنا عشان أنافس التكنولوجيا I will never beat you. Be honest يعني مستحيل حتى لو جبت latest technology وبليون عن بليون.
طيب maybe this will be shown. لا العكس. Thank you for this. Yes. You know that we sell our own APIs. Our APIs, there are a lot of customers that use the APIs that we have. So it's not based on our. And actually, I'm not the right person, but the APIs that are for Riga RER, we are not allowed to use them for ourselves. We open the licenses for these APIs to the public. This is not our own. We just capitalize on the data and build the systems. So this is, I hope I cover this. And this is my knowledge. I used to be with Sedaya before I joined NHC. But back to the data, I wouldn't say I disagree. يعني machines like human, we need information to learn. يعني, and machines are like children. If you teach them wrong, they will be wrong. If you teach them right, they will learn. But there were applications in the Global AI Summit that did not require data, and it was proven. Again, it depends on the application. If you're building an application, you think the data is important, and I always see another way that you can build it without the data. For example, if you've heard about the issue with Amazon when it hired the algorithm, because they hire automatically. The machine reads the CV, it makes the interview, it decides, because they used to hire 10,000 a year. To hire 10,000 a year, there is no recruitment company that can do this for you, and so they outsource it to algorithms. So it was biased towards certain people that were working at certain companies that were living in certain locations, because they trained it on the historical data, my opinion. If they did not train it on historical data, which is, I think, is wrong, it should be better than the historical people that were working and how they decided. You should put the prompts in very well, how the machine decide, and make it to make better decisions. And even in this case, you don't know how it will decide. So yes, some applications need data, others don't. But I don't want people here to think that the only way to build models is with data. I'll finish with this from my short experience. There are two ways. There is the data-driven and decision-driven. Data-driven is you look at the data, what you have, and try to build models that will predict and learn the first thing to learn from your data. If there is any insight it can learn, and build models on it. Or there is the other way around, is to look at your business, what you need, and work the data backwards. But what I've seen, most applications, I would say 70–80%, you can find a way to work around it. And we've seen some applications with minimal data, they provided very acceptable initial results. But again, it's not easy, it's easier said than achieved here.
ممكن أنا أعقب بس على مداخلة الأستاذ. كان المعالي رئيس الهيئة العامة للإحصاء. ما أدري حضرتها أونلاين. إي فكان عنده الحقيقة شرح قوي فيما يخص البيانات. السعودية استضافت الجلوبال.
في اصلا في مصدر البيانات المفتوح تقدر تشتغل عليه، يعني في منصه كامله البيانات المفتوحه.
اي بس انا في نفس الوقت يعني هي انا ماني عارف وين البيانات تخزن. اذا كانت كل سنه ازدادت وصلت زيتا بايت الان 200 وبيتوقعون توصل 1000 زيتا بايت يعني تريليون، فيعني هذا شيء يعني يجب. وين يخزنونها؟ اذا كل سنه تبدل وين السيرفرز
بالريخ.
في مراكز بيانات وفي تكنولوجي اقدر
لا
اشرح لك
يعني
اياها.
انا اللي اعرفه انه هم يقولون تحطها في البحر وين، بس انت بتدبلها كل سنه قاعد تدبل، اذا دبلت دبل يعني بتحط كل الانفراستراكشر كل سنه.
طبعا هذه الانفراستراكشر.
It was saved in some place يعني it's not materialized. I think so.
Yeah, this is another challenge, the data as well. But AI is different than data. يعني AI is
بس الرو ماتيريال حق AI هي data.
بس you've heard يعني garbage in garbage out يعني يمكن 200 of course yeah. أكيد عاد هذه شغلاتكم الجفرنس. Any other questions or يلا thank you so much. Thank you.